Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. We post an interview with an amazing Canadian each weekday for your daily inspiration. Today, I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, Lisa Wells. Lisa was born in Burnaby, BC, and is a proud mother of two wonderful adult children. She also tells me that she's a proud daughter of two of the finest parents around, both turning 90 years old this year. Besides her loved ones, Lisa has always been known as the rescuer. And since she was very young, she's been on a mission to protect and help all living things. She has been known to stop a swimming workout simply to save a bug from drowning, and yes, even a mosquito. So cute. That passion to protect and help has continued through her adult life. Lisa started her career as a school counselor prior to creating Dare to Care in 1999. She's also passionate about the sport of swimming and has been competing since she was 6 years old. Her goal is to be the only 100-year-old in her age to break all world records, and I know with her determination she will do it. Friends, you will find her full bio attached. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to see you.
So nice to see you too. I miss you. It's way too long.
I know. Well, this is the beginning of the reconnect, yes.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you in the pool next.
Yes, for sure.
Are you ready for the questions we sent you?
I sure am, yes.
Awesome. Okay, the first one being, what has been your greatest challenge in the last few months?
Well, it's interesting because what started off as our biggest challenge actually became a massive opportunity for Dare to Care. And I think that's probably true for a lot of small businesses and not-for-profits. We have been expanding at a rapid rate. So our program for the last 20 years has focused in schools. But a couple of years ago, we decided to expand into amateur sports. So this year, that really, really took off. And we also decided to expand nationally, so start training facilitators across the country. So March 9th, beginning of the week of March 9th, I was halfway through the pilot project in Ontario. I was training 3 facilitators out there. Our other facilitators here in Calgary were busy working with sports organizations, schools. And then boom, exactly 1 week later, everything shut down. And that was a challenge. The challenge was, when are we going to be back into schools? And now that we're into September, initially back in March, we thought maybe it would be 6 weeks maximum before we could be back in schools. Now that it's September 1st and the first day of kids being back in school, we know most likely this entire year we will not be back into schools doing our face-to-face in-person programming. So what was the challenge has become the opportunity that during these past 5.5 months, we have been able to lift and shift our in-person program for students, for teachers, as well as parents onto a virtual platform. We're still in the works. We hope to launch it by mid-September. But it's something that we at Dare to Care have always talked about. We've just never had the time. Being such a lean organization, we never had the time or financial resources to do that. But that all came together in April, and it's very, very exciting the direction that this is going.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Way to go with pivoting.
Yes, yeah, and prior to March 9th, I had never heard that word, pivoting and lift and shift. My vocabulary has increased tenfold in this last 5.5 months, but yes, we lifted and shifted and pivoted, and we did everything we needed to do. So yeah,
it's kind of like that movie on the Matrix, right? When you're doing the whoo.
a little bit for sure. Yeah.
I'm very proud of you and all your work you're doing, my friend.
Thank you.
What about the 3 things that you'd like to share with the audience today?
Well, there's so many things. I kept changing my mind on what I wanted to share, but I think the 3 major points, one being is the issue of bullying. I think we all are very aware is very, very pervasive in throughout all of society, and it has become even more prevalent now that people have been home, having more time at home and more online discussion, with all the movements, with the political discourse out there. Bullying is absolutely everywhere. But the one thing I wanted to say about that is the word bullying has become so misused and overused in the last, 5 to 6 years, that it really has done such a great disservice to those who really are being targeted, those who are really, on the receiving end of bullying. And I just want, and this is one of the big goals of Dare to Care, is to help educate everyone into understanding the difference between what is just normal conflict, and it is normal and it is part of human beings to disagree and to have arguments, but there's a real difference between conflict and bullying. Conflict is relatively short-lived. It's two parties going at it. There's equal balance. When you get into bullying, however, there's nothing normal about that. It's one person who has no power to make changes because of the setting that they're in. It could be one individual targeting them or a group targeting them, but they feel completely unable to do anything about this imbalance of power. And it's repetitive. It's intentional. And again, this imbalance of power. So I just really wish people would stop overusing the word bullying, because it's taking away from the importance of the issue.
That's a good ask. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, so that would be one. The other is sort of along the same lines, is that we all very much play a role in creating the communities that we want. Back when I was a school counselor and working in the area of bullying, there were very little resources for us as counselors, administrators, teachers in the area of bully prevention. But so what we did was we would sit the bully and the target down and have them work it out and think we were doing a grand job. But what we didn't realize is that as soon as those two children, or this would be true in the workplace as well, those two individuals go back to their setting where nothing's changed, where nobody else has been mobilized to stand up for the target, the bully quickly goes back, resumes their role as being a bully. And let's face it, there's a hidden benefit to being a bully in our society. You get what you want when you want, and nobody's going to stop you. Yeah. So I think everybody needs to realize they do have a voice, and it's not that you have to fix the situation, but just speak up. And we know that bullies are very fond of an audience. It's very rare that they will go into their little bullying routine when there's no audience, because they need the laughter. They need eyes on them to feel justified in what they're doing and to feel more powerful. And so 90% of the time there are witnesses in bullying instances, events, and we know that it stops within 10 seconds. Almost 100% of the times bullying situations will stop when even one individual speaks up and tells them to stop. So we all do play a role, and it's not just happening in schools. As adults, it's happening at Tim Hortons, it's happening at the malls, it's happening online, it's happening everywhere, and we just need to speak up.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and then the last thing I wanted to share was just sort of a very simple statement of truth, and it's really just simply that as human beings, we don't have to like everybody. We don't have to be friends with everybody. And we don't have to agree with what they're saying or what their beliefs are, but we do have to respect every single person. So it goes back to that very simple statement we learn in, kindergarten, grade 1, and that is, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. You don't have to contribute just because you have strong opinion. You can, but do it respectfully. So I think that's something that I think we all need a reminder about once in a while.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. Good advice. I love it.
Well, thank you. Thanks. I haven't been able to spread my advice or share my little words of wisdom for 5.5 months. So it's just nice to be able to, to share with you, Catherine. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Now, words of wisdom for sure. And the last thing that you'd like to share with everyone, if it's a legacy, a good news story, or just anything that you would like in closing.
Right. Well, I think starting with a good news story, it was just one of the roadblocks when we decided that we were going to jump in and pivot into the virtual world was the resources. We just simply, as a very small, charity, we didn't have those resources available. And I reached out to the community, to some of our, really committed and devoted funders and donors out there. And within a week, we had the funding we needed. And that just goes to show that people really do care, and they care about what we're doing, which is lovely, but they really care about making a difference in society. And, another side note, Pattison, the Pattison group, who are really sort of the head of all of the billboards across North America, reached out to us early on and said, listen, we don't really have businesses to promote right now. We would like to promote charities, and we believe in the work you're doing. So for 1 month, we had free billboards around Calgary.
Oh.
Just again, as horrible and terrifying as this whole COVID-19 has been, I'm stating what people already know and have stated before, is it really did bring community together. So we felt that at Dare to Care 100-fold. And sort of segue the legacy from that, from people caring, is that we are now going to have this online program that is going to allow us to reach so many more students, coaches, athletes, parents. We reached our 1 millionth participant in January with our in-person programs, but with the online program, we're going to be able to reach millions more, much more quickly. And also having that online the virtual program will allow us to stay relevant. So we'll be able to add modules very, very quickly when issues arise. So obviously this summer, issues of racism, the LGBTQ, that's an ongoing issue. We'll be able to add modules very, very quickly on the virtual program. So that's exciting. I mean, I always wondered what was going to happen when I was 90 years old. Would kids really want to see me hobbling into the gym to present? And I know I would still have passion at 9 years old, but, would I have the relevance at that point? So now we have the virtual program that will allow us to maintain relevance. And that is so very, very exciting to me. So it's been a hard 5.5 months, but a very exciting 5.5 months as well.
No, I'm very proud of you and all the work that you do. What a major impact. So exciting.
Thank you, Catherine. And thank you for people like you that really have kept us going over the years. And I value your friendship, and I value your expertise and your knowledge and your wisdom. So, let's get back in the pool and start talking business. Or maybe just swim.
Yeah, swim.
One thing at a time.
And then a coffee. Wine goes well too.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks again, Lisa. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for all the work that you're doing in our community and the impact that you make each and every day.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone, that was my friend Lisa Wells with Dare to Care. Check them out. Like this episode, share it with your friends, and subscribe, and continue watching some other great friends in our community. Enjoy this amazing day, and thanks for joining us on Cat's Track.